How you doing, guys? Today is the 17th of September 2015, and I know I've kind of neglected my YouTube channel after my show for a variety of reasons, to be honest. Had lots going on in my life, obviously some of the things I've documented in the previous video, but also I found it quite difficult, having been unwell and sort of dealing with the mental side of everything, of having a condition, perhaps for want of a better term, and not knowing exactly what's going on. If you didn't tune into my last video, obviously I described that I'd suffered a seizure on the 14th of August, my first week back to work, some 6 weeks, 8 weeks or so after my first show at the UK DFBA Caledonia Classic. And as you would expect, you know, most people, friends, family, people automatically assumed this was all on the basis of putting your body through too much with the diet. And you know, when I first started my prep, I was 14 stone 3 and I competed at 11 stone 3. So a 3 stone drop is a lot for your body to obviously go through between the 9th of January and the 27th of June. As it currently stands just now, I'm 7 pounds heavier than stage weight, but my body is completely different. Obviously my calories just now are far higher. They're almost 1,000 calories higher than what they were in the run up to the show for the last few weeks. I'm currently sitting at macros of 220 protein, 300 grams of carbs and 65 grams of fat. With that being said, my rest day macros are 203 grams of protein, 175 grams of carbs and 53 grams of fat. Just now I've been off work for 5 weeks now, and that's based on the doctor's recommendation. You know, the doctors don't want me having any sort of additional stress while I'm in limbo at the minute until they give me a diagnosis of exactly what's going on. This week I had 2 separate visits to the new Queen Elizabeth University Hospital in Glasgow, to the endocrinology clinic to give blood samples. I gave 3 vials on 2 separate occasions, and they'll be away to be spun, and hopefully within the next 2 weeks or so I'll get my results back. I have been advised that if there's no abnormalities in my blood with regards to my sugar or my insulin levels, they'll admit me to hospital, and they'll force me to go on a 72-hour fast. The thought of that as a bodybuilder, as a human being, not eating for 72 hours sounds absolutely brutal. And the fact then that you've reverse dieted, you've obviously been careful on what you've been doing to re-establish your metabolic rate, to not just, you know, smash so many calories and put your body in crisis, as it were, to then starve yourself for 3 days, you know, it's not going to be easy. So that's something that I've got to prepare for. With regards to training, I've still been training, probably not to the extent that I would normally train with my training partner Andy Scott. Andy's obviously been training solo since I suffered with my seizure. He looks absolutely fantastic, might add. It's this weekend, the first show, which is the UK BFF in Birmingham, and I have absolutely no doubt that he will take the honours for that, and quite possibly will take his weight class as well. He is still a junior, this is his last year of juniors, and he's been dubbed the Scottish Flex Lewis, and that's not a tongue-in-cheek remark, that's a genuine remark to be made, because this boy's got so much potential, and to think he's so young. He lives and breathes the sport. He still just does see it as a hobby. He's a very educated individual as well, with his university degree, and if he chooses not to look at bodybuilding full time, I'd be very, very surprised, because I really do see him getting his pro card and moving out to the States in the not too distant future. So he's got that show this weekend, and then hopefully the Brits, where I'm hoping he'll become the very first 2-time Mr. Britain at the junior category before he moves up in, you know, a couple of years time when he competes again. So that's Andy, my training partner. I've missed training with him, to be honest, but it's just where his head's at the minute, obviously with heading the game for prep, and he's also worried that I push myself too hard in the gym, as I always do, and it has a detrimental effect on my health. I think as well, the doctor didn't tell me not to train. So knowing that I am a natural bodybuilder and knowing the circumstances, he just told me to rest up and don't add extra stress. So having had a couple of days off post seizure, I did find it quite difficult sitting in the house. I think that's where your mental well-being would come into factor as well. So I did start doing a lot of walking. I can't drive just now, I'm banned from driving until I've got my results back and we know exactly what's going on. So I've been training in different places at the minute, you know, my usual gym in Extreme and Extreme 2, their new facility, which is absolutely fantastic, not as busy as the original Extreme, which is quite good, and also paying wee visits into my previous gym in Venice Physique. As it currently stands, I'm still weighing up if I'll compete or not next year. My intention after the show this year was always to compete in 2016. However, depending on what I get back from my results from the GP, I may take the sensible decision in taking a year to 2 years out and working on my negative points and really regaining some mental and physical health, if that seems to be the case. My next appointment at the doctor's is going to be to the seizure clinic, which is obviously running some brain scans and testing me for epilepsy. So I've got diabetes and epilepsy being the front two runners to try and give us some diagnosis. So that's where I'm at just now. With regards to my reverse dieting, I'm still having one cheat meal a week where I don't macro in what I'm having at all. I'll maybe go out to a restaurant, have a 3-course meal and come home and eat my body's weight worth in Reese's Pieces, and enjoying copious amounts of donuts, be it Krispy Kreme or Nick's NYC Deli in Glasgow. So yeah, life's got a little bit more of a better balance just now, which is nice, and really I'm trying to get myself back into a full healthy state, and then the aim would be, once I get the okay from the doctor, would be maybe do a couple of powerlifting meets, because that was something that I was quite successful with prior to doing competition prep for my first natural show. So yeah, that would be my aim then. I did look at the Scottish records for my body weight just now, and I don't think they're unachievable. The deadlift, I'm almost there. It's just becoming more adapted to a raw lift without, I've never ever used a belt, but I've always been inclined to use straps. So have been using chalk lately and bringing up my bench and my squat, and as soon as we get there, yep, it'll be all go for a powerlifting meet. So that's a quick update as to where I'm at just now with my health and my well-being and my training and my macros. If you've got any other questions or anything else you'd like to see on the channel, I know lots of people did enjoy the cooking segment. I do plan on doing another couple of cooking segments as well, with macro-friendly foods. So stay tuned guys, and I'll be back with you soon. Cheers.